evening, everybody, and welcome to the Congregational Church of Littleton's Facebook page. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you are welcome here. So this evening, beautiful night, I'm enjoying the outside weather as we read from our Storybook Bible tonight. I hope you guys have all had a great day, enjoying a much cooler day than it has been. So today, from our Jesus Storybook Bible by Sally Lloyd-Jones, we are going to read Operation No More Tears. It's the rescue will come. Prophecies from Isaiah 9, 11, 40, 50, 53, 55, and 60. All right, let's read. Do you know what your name means? Well, there was once a man called Isaiah, and his name meant God to the rescue. That might sound like a bit of a funny name to you, but it was just the right name for Isaiah because God had a special job for Isaiah. You see, Isaiah's job was to listen to God and to tell people what he heard. Now, God let Isaiah know a secret. God was going to mend his broken world. He showed Isaiah his secret rescue plan. Operation No More Tears. This is the message God gave Isaiah. It was like a letter God wrote to his children. Dear little flock, you're all wandering away from me like sheep in an open field. You've always been running away from me, and now you're lost. You can't find your way back. But I can't stop loving you. I will come to find you. So I'm sending you a shepherd to look after you and love you, to carry you home to me. You've been stumbling around like people in a dark room, but in the darkness a bright light will shine. It will chase away the shadows like sunshine. A little baby will be born, a royal son. His mommy will be a young girl who doesn't have a husband. His name will be Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us. He is one of King David's children's children, the Prince of Peace. Yes, someone is going to come and rescue you, but he won't be what anyone expects. He will be a king, but he won't live in a palace. He won't have lots of money. He will be poor, and he will be a servant. But this king will heal the whole world. He will be a hero. He will fight for his people and rescue them from their enemies. But he won't have big armies. He won't fight with swords. He will make the blind see. He will make the lame leap like deer. He will make everything the way it always meant to be. But people will hate him, and they won't listen to him. He will be like a lamb. He will suffer and die. It's the secret rescue plan we made from before the beginning of the world. It is the only way to get you back. But he won't stay dead. I will make him alive again. And one day, when he comes back to rule forever, the mountains and trees will dance and sing for joy. The earth will shout out loud. His fame will fill the whole earth, and as the waters cover the sea. Everything sad will come untrue. Even death is going to die. And he will wipe away the tears from every eye. Yes, the rescuer will come. Look for him, watch for him, wait for him. He will come. I promise. Love God. Poor Isaiah. He read God's letter over and over to God's people, but no one listened to him at all. Ever. They didn't want to hear God's promise. They didn't believe it. Did it sound maybe too good to be true? A story that ends happily ever after? Well, it does sound like a fairy tale, doesn't it? And as anyone will quickly tell you, fairy tales aren't true. Or are they? That is the end of our story. I like that story. Oh, looks like we have gone awry. Well, my video has gone blank. I don't know if this is still going. So I'm going to talk still. And hopefully you guys can all still see me. So I'm wondering what it felt like to be Isaiah. He had a name that meant God to the rescue. His job was to deliver God's message. I wonder how Isaiah felt about that. He had this big message that he needed to send out to everybody. And as the story told us, nobody listened to him. I wonder how Isaiah was feeling about that. I wonder how God was feeling about that nobody was listening. Huh. So there were some questions at the end of this story that I want us to think about for a minute. Do you think maybe this story sounded too good to be true and maybe that's why people didn't listen? If you heard this story today, would you think, too good to be true? Never going to happen. Take a moment and think about that. You know, a story that ends happily ever after is kind of like a fairy tale. The fairy tales we hear, right? Where the prince and the princess and they get what they want and everybody lives happily ever after. Or the girl who's lost and found her way and as happy as can be where she is. But in this story, this sounds like a fairy tale, right? That the rescuer will come and everything will be happy and everything will be great. So my question for you, do you believe in fairy tales? Are they true? Something to think about. So next week we will read Daniel and the Scary Sleepover. Wow. See what that's about. So I hope to see you guys next Wednesday. Friday is Faithful Friday, so don't forget to join me on Zoom. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and that you're enjoying this beautiful weather we're having right now. I think after this I am going out for a walk. I'll see you guys later. Good night.